Hey guys, this is week 8 of breaking down random businesses in the wild and repositioning and implementing them. And before we jump in, I just want to let you know there has been no previous contact or association with said business before this. So this is purely going off their website, off their online presence, off their social media. So today's business that we are focusing on is Signature Windows and Doors in Colorado. Jumping over to their website, they've got on their homepage the clear choice for flawless execution and a specific page around their claim differentiation, which is the signature difference, superior custom window and door solutions, delivering excellence and providing the best experience to the customer and for the team. While that sounds great, it is sadly something that most of the other competitors in that space and parallel industries have a similar kind of issue where you could probably do word bingo. There is one big lesson that can be learned here and that you can take forward in terms of when you're looking to position your own company. And that is making sure that you're checking off 5 areas. The first is that it's specific. You want to make sure that there's no fuzzy wording there. 2, it's verifiable. You can prove it true or false. 3, it's meaningful, as in when your customers read it, they're able to make a decision based on that. 4, it's differentiating. And 5, that you can be held accountable for it, which means that this is possible to fail. And that is the biggest thing about any kind of strong positioning. There is a chance it's going to fail. It's part of the risk, but that's also part of the chance of reward around it. So in terms of how we're going to look at positioning signature windows, a big gap is in their buyer consideration. So the phases currently, what I can see, there's 4 phases. 1, design development, so which is 6 to 12 months before the construction, where architects they're creating plans. They're drawing these designs. Now, in terms of opportunity, this is quite rare to get in at that point. Only sophisticated dealers are getting in this early. The second stage is when most of the dealers enter, and that is pre-constructions, when the builders are selected, when the permits are done, etc. So this is currently where they're at. The third stage is during construction. This is already too late. And 4th is during remodeling or replacement. Now, they already have a page dedicated to remodeling and replacement. So again, I think we can step back and look at this from a completely different area. What about stage 0? This is before architects even come into the fold. This is when that end user, be it the homeowner, they're thinking about that space, thinking about retirement. But the key here is that it needs to have that clear proof. So we're very much moving from the typical kind of positioning. It's like we install windows really well, it's just normal, right? To the after positioning where we're enabling your distinct vision through glass, through these windows. So you're becoming a part of their vision. It's around that dreaming stage. Before we dive into the positioning, is our competition already doing this? And looking at other dealers in the area, again, we're very much looking at generic quality or trust or experience claims rather than this kind of positioning. So let's go. In terms of a positioning statement, let's go with Colorado's frameless glass specialist for luxury mountain homes, where unobstructed views define daily living experiences. Sound like a lot of words, but let's break it down part by part. They're very much focused for luxury home owners building or renovating mountain homes in Colorado, where they prioritize unobstructed views and seamless indoor-outdoor living. Their focus, their service is on that frameless, on that ultra minimal frame compared to standard window installers who treat all windows the same. They're very much specialized exclusively in frameless glass that create that nothing in between experience. This is very much ticking off those 5 areas that I've mentioned before. It's specific. You can get down into detail here. It's verifiable. You can go and check it with these completed homes. It's meaningful. It leans into why customers should actually care. This is why they move to the mountains, for those views. You're doubling down on that. You're doubling down on that identity of, I'm that sophisticated that I want frameless glass. It's differentiating. You've got that experience-based positioning that nobody else really wants to hone in this much. And lastly, it's accountable. If they're not there doing sightlines under 2 inches, you can fail. If they don't focus on these mountain homes, you can fail. So very much focusing on views that are not compromised by installation errors, which again, this is another point that you can add into your KPIs, into your goals. So this is leaning into your business decisions. So the next half is the biggest half, where it's the application, it's the implementation. We're looking at external taglines like morning coffee, mountain views, and nothing in between. So you're leaning into that morning coffee ritual. You're making them feel like they're already in that space. It's that lifestyle dream that they're buying. It's that emotional resonance. It's not just functional. Now, if you're looking at sales, they can put in a qualifier. Hey, guys, if you're prioritizing price over views, we are not the right fit. You're pushing away people exclusively through that positioning. And even in hiring, they can look to hire a photographer to add into this portfolio where they're focused on that vision. You know, the morning light coming through the glass, the coffee waking up experience, or that transition across the day. A big part of this, of course, is going to be in their content strategy. If they focus on just that aspirational language, it's just going to be marketing BS. However, aspirational language with that portfolio, that ends up being that luxury brand positioning. So the content needs to show the experience and the outcomes. For this, we could think about what I mentioned before, that morning ritual photography, coffee, sunrise, or that before after. There's different ways we could take this, like before after, from sketch to the execution, or from sketch to view, or from the time lapse as the seasons are changing, or the wildlife because they can be so close and it feels like they're right next to you. The homeowner stories, you know, the daily view or the mountain living experience where readers can just feel like they're already in that space. All of these pieces come together to build that story, to build that draw factor. Now, in terms of the operations, we're focusing on their claim of, hey, we're Colorado's leading Skyframe installer, and this can be verifiable by their annual installs. We're saying no to standard windows, thick frames, and non-mountain projects. And another area is architect relationships. In terms of these architect relationships, what we could do is positioning these guys as the frameless glass technical resource, not just as an installer. We could do lunch and learns with frameless system capabilities. We could do design phase consulting for free or minimal fee to build those relationships, or even co-marketing featuring these architects projects with credit. Another thing is focusing on that local presence of sponsoring design events in mountain communities. And even in the national perspective, we could be looking at partnerships beyond high-end custom builders, which would be the normal go-to for partnerships. Let's jump out of that and think of, say, for example, retirement planners. Say, for example, entrepreneur retreats. We're stepping back in the journey so that we can get that, okay, this is what that end vision could look like early enough that you're placing that idea. They don't need to be ready yet, but the idea and the seed has been planted. So that is it for this week. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, if there's any ideas that you'd add that I've missed, or if there's another company that you'd like to see me cover next week. In the meantime, stay badass.